What's up, everyone? Dave Cottingham here with Casey Cooley.
Hello, everybody.
And our guest for the episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back commentary, Chad Perkins.
Hello. What's up?
What's up, Chad?
There he is. He's there.
Yeah, you're here.
Lounging on the couch with some candy.
You do
Probably
got
can't
some candy.
it.
Big bowl full of candy. Yes.
Might be hidden.
Thanks for joining us, actually, for our journey to Star Wars The Last Jedi, which is just a mere 1 month away, right?
Under 40 days?
Yeah.
At this point,
This point
Yeah.
that we're recording this,
pushing it.
under 40 days. But that's not what we're talking about here.
That's not what we're talking about.
We're talking about The Empire Strikes Back now. Chad, the reason why we got you on here, though, is because I know you're a huge fan of this movie.
It is my favorite.
It is your favorite. We are going to be diving in and talking about all kinds of topics. So I hope you're ready.
I'm ready.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to get this movie started.
Hit play.
Going to go right about here. And 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 20th century. So how this works, if you've seen our other commentaries, we, again, talk about not just the film or what's happening with the film, but we got several topics that we're going to be, a little L8 action, that we're going to be bringing up as the movie's playing, some insights, how things have changed perspective-wise with all the stuff that's out there in the, Rebels TV show, movies, new movies, games, TV shows, books, comics, all that stuff. So obviously, though, as we have done in the past, the first question that goes out is, The Empire Strikes Back, Chad, when in your past do you remember first watching this movie?
Unfortunately, I don't remember because I can't remember a time when I didn't watch it. Because I have an older sister, so she was watching them, and it was on before I realized what was happening. So I don't even know. I don't even know. Obviously, didn't see it in the theater. But, we got a VCR.
Because you're a 1980s person, right? You were born in 80.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this came out in May.
May 21st. My birthday.
I was born. I was around. I was
This
on
came out May 21st? Oh.
I was on the earth
earlier.
You
when
were
this
on
movie
the
came
earth.
out.
Yeah.
But just barely.
Yeah.
But, we had a VCR pretty early on. So, I don't remember when I saw it, but I can't remember not seeing it.
Case?
It's very similar. I always think about, though, I know I've saw it obviously before the special editions came out. Because this is the one movie where I remember watching it on TV and watching the Wampa, scene in the cave with Luke.
Oh, right.
I remember seeing new footage. I remember watching that scene, like, I don't remember this specific shot before. So knowing that, I'm deducing, like, well, I must have seen it before special edition came out, because now I know that there were scenes added after that.
Yeah.
So it had to have been, and I always knew of Star Wars before the special editions came out because I was excited to get the tapes. So again, I don't know. So it was before '97. So I was younger than 6 when I saw it for the first time.
Now, was that animation just there, just like
That one specific, right when
No.
the two blasts, like in Episode 4?
No.
No, not animation.
I don't think there's any animation yet on this.
Okay.
I didn't see it in theater, even though I think I was 3 at this point. But because I saw Return in the theater, I don't really remember it at all. Seeing it, I mean, I remember I just specifically remember just like the original Star Wars, mid 80s, 84, 85 or something like that. Just having the VHSs and burning through them like crazy all the time. So that's whenever I really got familiar with Empire Strikes Back. But what, after seeing it, I mean, what makes, to you briefly, what makes this your favorite movie?
I've always been trying to figure that out, and I think it's just a combination of so many different things. I think the story's a little stronger in this one. The acting's a little better. The effects are better than Episode 4. And I think it's superior in some ways to Episode 6. this is the darker one of the three, and I think that just makes for an interesting movie. And
Terrifying.
now I'm just kidding. Now I'm just watching the movie.
Yeah.
I think the directing on this one was great. The cinematography, the Luke and Vader
Yes.
battle is just iconic. There's just so many iconic scenes in it, and the way that they're shot is just so beautiful in this movie that you just know it's your favorite. You don't even have to put your finger on it.
Well, because I'm it was weird because growing up before the prequels came out, obviously when we just had these three movies, I mean, for a long time I actually leaned a lot towards Return of the Jedi.
So did I, actually.
Yeah, just because the revelations came out more and they're solidified, because in this, even the famous line obviously of Luke, no, I am your father. I mean, back then you didn't know for sure. You know what I mean? It was like,
Yeah.
Right.
It's really
Lying.
There's no what? How does that? I mean, just like Luke said, right? That's impossible.
Yeah.
So, but to get that explanation from Obi-Wan in Return of the Jedi, to get your sister. I mean, it's like, it was so cool to finally get all that realized, as well as full onslaught of air battle, ground battle. I mean, it's just overall it's just. But in the end, I agree with you. I think when it comes down to writing and it comes down to acting, directing, just the weight of this movie with these characters, I think it's just ultimately stands out above everything else that's been done.
Yeah.
I mean, even now at this point, when we have 8 movies, it's like it's still pretty much the best one out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So as we get into, we kind of saw that shot earlier with the Wampa, and you mentioned the extra scene. So actually, one of my questions was, because obviously some of this may kind of delve into special edition kind of stuff, but later on when we get into the cave with Luke, it's like, do we need to see the Wampa? Did we need to see more of the Wampa? Because I was always a little like, I was, to be honest, like I remember watching obviously before special editions come out, and when Luke, gets the lightsaber, cuts his arm off, it's like, I did kind of want to see the Wampa.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to see him standing there without an arm, But to be honest, once I see it, it's like, maybe I didn't have to see that,
Yeah.
Right.
I don't, I mean, it doesn't really bother me either way, but it did, I'm a little confused, for one, to be honest, on why they couldn't shoot those scenes, like why they couldn't make an outfit like that back in the
I don't know.
early 70s, late 70s, I don't know.
The story is.
But I don't know. What do you guys think about the Wampa?
Well, it's hard to remember a time without it now. Just having seen this version
Right.
so much. But yeah, I don't know why. It might have just been a time constraint why they couldn't do it back then, or didn't do it back then, or maybe they tried it and it just looked bad.
Well, it was a puppet.
Yeah.
The scene where he attacks the Tauntaun. But you never saw him full body in the cave, which was kind of mysterious. It's that.
I mean, thankfully they didn't try to do it digitally. In the special edition. 'Cause
totally.
I don't think that would have looked right in 97.
97.
Yeah.
97.
Yeah, I don't think that would have looked quite right.
No. Wampa always scared me though. I mean, there was always when I'd see the new stuff, and that's a pretty scary creature to a 6-year-old.
Yeah. No, I do like the parts. I kind of like the parts where he's like chomping away, because it kind of does add some fear factor to it a little bit, but.
Now, what about the Family Guy version where it's a Cookie Monster and he goes, cookies?
Yeah. Right.
That's pretty good, too. So I used to do this with my Luke action figure when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I would fill up a bag of, like a sandwich bag of water, halfway full, put him in the water, put it in the freezer,
yeah.
and then take it out when it's frozen and hang them upside
That's
down,
fun.
just like this.
I think they'd say, like, because what I used to do is actually hang upside down on, like, monkey bars and pretend you're Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gross, man. That's terrifying.
Yeah, see, I
To a
think
child.
that's a pretty good insert, I think. I mean, I like that. I like that fact.
Mm-hmm.
Now, okay, so this is really interesting to me.
Try this hand.
Now, you got to remember the time. It's been 3 years since A New Hope.
And he can't even move the lightsaber.
It's well, you know, what we're finding out in the comics, especially, is that he's trying to find ways to train more. He's trying to figure out how to train because no Obi-Wan, and at this point, in Casey back, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like, see, like this shot, I thought it was pretty cool, but it's like, do I need to see that? I don't know. But according to what we've known so far, this appearance later here coming up of Obi-Wan is the first time he's appeared to him
I think so.
since, ever.
'Cause
You've only heard his voice.
Yeah.
But he has been searching these 3 years on trying to figure out, like, how do I train myself to become a Jedi? Like, it makes sense that he's still, like, can't make that happen. You know what I mean? And he's still actually carrying a gun. That's what I noticed most about this movie. He still carries a blaster, right? So that perspective, I think I'm hoping I guess they need to kind of stick to that with all this content that they're creating, is that Luke is really on his own these 3 years. I mean, it's been 3 years. But do you think that's I don't know. I mean, do you think that kind of hinders any kind of storytelling between A New Hope and The Empire Strikes Back?
Yeah, a little bit, because what stories can you tell? I mean, you could, he could be more like the Han Solo character, getting into blaster fights and adventures that way, things that lay outside of the Force. But as far as him, like a story of him trying to figure out how to train himself, that's probably not going to be very interesting. So yeah,
Because he'll fail.
Guess he'll fail. Yeah. So yeah, I guess it does. I mean, more just him, Han and Leia doing stuff would be cool, but
Well, he at least learns so far as the Ray thing, where he just quiets his mind and focuses, that kind of meditative. So he's got to learn that much to where he can move things. But
like there's been in the books, he's used a lightsaber,
yeah, right.
but he's not using it like like a trained person. I remember the first comic that came, the first Star Wars comic line that came out after the canon. I mean, he confronts Vader like within like the first couple of issues. They're on this. I can't remember what planet it was, Case, but one of the planets where it's like a factory. It's like a TIE fighter factory.
Yeah.
And they're in there trying to destroy it. And Vader shows up, and Vader like just abuses, force throws him around. It's like he just. So technically, they met before this, but not as I don't. At that point, Vader didn't know he was his son.
Yeah.
So that's a little trivia question. Did you know who tells Vader that it was a Skywalker that destroyed the Death Star?
no.
Boba Fett.
What?
Boba Fett tells Darth Vader that?
He is tasked to research and find who destroyed the Death Star, and he.
Now there's your story. Just him researching. Who
Yeah, he gets on the internets, and actually Boba Fett and Luke confront each other at Obi-Wan's hut on Tatooine. and they have a little confrontation. He finds out that Skywalker, blah blah blah, goes to Vader. That's it.
And that's all I know is that it's just the name Skywalker. That's why I told him
Yes,
his name is Skywalker. And he walks away.
walks away.
Pretty cool.
It's pretty awesome.
So how come Obi-Wan waited to this moment to tell Luke?
Well,
not long to form himself.
Well, I think a lot of that has to do with his training still on how to become a Force ghost, because he's still actually learning that. That again, that's not fully explained yet, but that's I guess that's kind of our theory. Is
He's been
that
talking to Qui-Gon the whole time, howling around.
yeah? I think he so he he's still training. He was training even up until like the newest book that came out, which was the Certain Point of View. Kind of talks about a little bit about Qui-Gon still training him on how to become what to expect in the afterlife, kind of thing, and even in the afterlife, he's still kind of training to, because it takes a lot of power to actually manifest yourself like that. You know what I mean? So
Cool shot.
So I don't know. I guess I don't know if he's waiting for the right time or if he, you know what I mean. So
Now seems like a good time.
yeah,
He's
you're about to die.
About to die.
So maybe
I'm
I
sure
should
he'll
help
remember
you.
this.
Maybe I should help you with that. Yeah.
Hey, if you live, Luke, go to the Dagobah system. Don't
Yeah.
you go dying on me.
I've done my part. There. This guy's just lounging in his snow.
I mean, I
Sit
guess
up.
from a movie making standpoint, maybe they were thinking, oh, the audience might think that he's just dreaming right now, because he's on the edge of death.
That's true, too.
Maybe he's hallucinating, seeing Ben. And so then when later he comes to him when he's not dying, they're like, oh, that was real. That was real. Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool. So, that's probably.
But you really got to focus, I think, on his performance as well. Mark Hamill's right there because, I mean, he is acting as if that's the first time he's seeing. It's like he can't even make him out. Like Obi-Wan, like he's questioning, like, how are you even showing up in front of me? You know what I mean? So that's why I do agree it's hard, but you can't. I don't know. You can't mess with that. I mean, that has to be the first time that he's appeared at him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Obi-Wan Kenobi? I wonder if he means old Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll stop doing
No, that's good.
Family Guy references.
There's the.
Well, this one's like the best one though. The
What's
best
that?
Family Guy spoof is
oh,
like this one.
This one? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well,
Absolutely.
the whole Han Solo bit where he's breathing, how they smell bad on the outside. Like that's the
Oh, you saw that coming.
the funniest. I know, but it's just like I'm glad they did that.
Yeah.
Because you always thought like, oh, she's breathing a lot.
So Mark Hamill was in a car accident after
I think
episode
some
4?
kind of accident.
That's
yeah.
why they did this.
Yeah. Yeah, he had scars all over his face. Yeah.
Walked in and they're like, yes, thank you, Mark. I mean, I'm sorry, but that sucks. But thank you.
Now, again, according to some source materials, I think we both read Twilight Company, which was a book based in kind of following this company of rebels throughout the different parts of the battles. For those of you who don't know, this base, they had only really established this base for a couple months. They've just kind of been there when the probes kind of came out. So, in that 3-year gap, it's not like they just left Yavin and came here. It took them a while. They were kind of just flying around space trying to find the next
Go to Crate
base.
Ew.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay, look at it.
But if you didn't know, you didn't know, right?
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, I mean, dang it. Anyway, so it is a little, to me, it's actually a little upsetting that they just got settled in, It's like,
Yeah.
Right. We just installed
Man.
these glass monitors.
we're all good now. I mean, I think
the
some
lines just
engineers
right.
probably out there like, man, I just built this
Yeah.
thing. What the?
Carve this with a spoon. Just lock these wampas away.
Yeah.
That's canon now, right?
What's that?
The
Yes.
The deleted scene of the
Forces of
Wampa
Destiny.
is now technically it's a little different, but it's canon now.
Did you ever see that deleted scene?
There's
What's
Wampas
that?
somewhere in the caves.
There's a deleted scene. Is it on the DVD?
Yeah, there's a deleted scene. It's very short, where it's when I remember when the Empire comes, right, and then the snowtroopers go into the wrong door. There's a bunch of Wampas in it. He pulls them in or something like that.
And now those were bad
Yeah.
Wampas.
Yeah.
I think those were like motorized or something like that. They were
remember.
really weird.
It's not that easy to kill them in Battlefront. Jeez.
No, self-destruct.
Yeah.
Yeah, self-destruct.
But Force of Destiny, there was a spot where it was Chewie and Leia
Yeah.
and R2 maybe, but they go into a deep part of the base, the cave, and there's like Wampas in there, and they have to fend them off. It's pretty cool.
Now, were the Tauntauns native to Hoth, or did they bring them there? Because obviously they freeze
That's
at night.
true.
I'm pretty sure they're native
I
there.
think they're native,
I think
but
they're
hey,
native there.
So they must go into caves when it gets
I
cold.
guess, yeah.
hibernate.
Or they huddle up each
Yeah,
other,
yeah.
maybe. I
Maybe.
don't know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're native there, though.
You think
Things
so?
randomly flying.
Now, what did you think about this the first time you saw this?
No, jeez.
I mean,
Huge.
Just
could that ever,
amazing.
has that ever been a toy?
Oh, I don't
The
know.
Super Star Destroyer?
That one exactly.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, you're talking what, like 50 times bigger than a Star Destroyer?
Life size. I don't know.
But the bridge is like really small.
That would be
It's
like the aircraft carrier in G.I. Joe. That thing took up the entire
yes,
floor.
and I wanted that thing so bad. I did want that thing.
be your entire
Real quick
room.
side note. Just complete side note, but a friend of mine that lives in this neighborhood that I was hanging out with on Halloween the other day. That's because I saw a picture thing of Chewbacca. The new Chewbacca guy,
Giannis.
he went to Penn State with him, hung out with him all the time.
Gosh.
Wow.
He was a basketball player for Penn State. He's 7'2", whatever, right? It was
Yeah,
so
he's
cool
huge.
because he was like, because I told him I was like, yeah, my daughter loves Chewbacca. And he's like, well, I went to college with the Chewbacca now. I'm like,
Chewbacca.
what?
Peter Mayhew.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
He doesn't know exactly the story behind how he got casted or whatever,
Yeah.
but like
He's tall.
he's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
He can actually do the Chewbacca sound though on the behind the
Oh,
scenes.
really?
You hear
Nice.
him do it a lot with.
He
Ryan
said he's the
Johnson.
nicest guy. I was like,
Yeah.
oh man, he's gonna be Chewbacca forever now. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, don't work.
But he said he had talked to him on Facebook or something like that maybe, but like how Peter Mayhew was really
Yeah.
coaching him and training him, because he knew he was kind of passing it on. It was really neat to hear that a little bit. But
Nice.
I
But
don't like
Chewbacca.
that. No, I don't do that.
Yeah.
I want to get you.
yeah.
Okay, settle down. Chewbacca.
So another thing what's really neat I wanted to bring up is we got spoiled with Rogue One and seeing an actual Vader with his lightsaber, right?
Yeah.
How cool! I mean, knowing now, like he comes down and invades in here.
Mm-hmm.
How cool would it have been to actually see him with his light? Would you want to see him with his
Chopping people
lightsaber in
down.
this
That was cool.
beforehand? Because
Before, yeah.
traditionally, I mean, that's the thing about traditionally these movies, right? Lightsaber battle, lightsabers you don't see them until the end, kind of,
Kind of. Kylo would have been out there, probably doing some stuff. But it's the thing, like in the Twilight Company novel,
He does.
he is chopping down.
That's why I brought it
rebels.
up.
Yeah.
Because he actually does in the book, and it's canon now. He's going through those hallways when he's looking for Luke or looking for the Falcon, whatever. He's
Mowing down some rebels.
So, explain his little egg here.
His chamber.
his meditation chamber.
Is that what that is?
Pretty much. I think that's what it is. I mean, he could. I think
Games in it all day.
I think normally he's. That's where he's able to actually take his mask off and breathe inside of there.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Seriously?
you do
Because we see that
the
they see that
helmet going on
one
later.
one
Yeah.
instance, yeah. But
Another just interesting connection with from a certain point of view, because there's one story where Was it Mahdi that does the incident report?
Yes.
He's talking about how like he doesn't believe in the Force. Like Vader says he can destroy a planet with the Force, and yet he can barely choke someone a few meters away, and yet he's basically saying like Vader has to be super close to somebody in order to use the Force, and like this proves otherwise, of course. But
Yeah.
also it's interesting because I always forget that there are actual video cameras in Star Wars, like with
There
video
are.
screens.
There
And
are.
You always think like, oh, everything's hologram. That's weird. You know, how do you if there are movies in Star Wars or games, like how do you watch?
Yeah, that was
Star
one
Wars
thing
TV,
that kind
but
of took me
there
out
it
in
is.
episode 2 when they go to
That bar?
The bar,
Yeah.
and there's all those
That robot
games
football
on.
thing.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. There are TV.
Yeah,
screens,
you always forget that.
basically.
It's like, I don't know what that looks like what a video camera looks like in Star Wars. I don't
Right.
know. Just an interesting little nugget.
Yeah, because does he bring that up on there in the incident report?
No.
Did he talk about cameras on there?
I thought they did.
I think there's something in there.
Yeah,
that
about
they talk
cameras,
about
yeah.
cameras. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. Like this engineer who built this ion cannon, you know,
Yeah.
he just. I mean, they obviously had to build it, right? I mean, he just built that thing like in 2 months, and then now he's
Yeah.
like,
Done.
"Now we gotta leave." I'm glad I got this thing done.
Yeah.
You know, like. Now, see, an ion cannon is just kind of. It's not really destroying anything. It just
Disables
kind of
it.
disables it, you know.
Fries
Like a
fries the
EMP.
circuits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
Another interesting thing that I wanted to. I was thinking about pointing out too
This
on
is
this.
my
Like,
X-Wing?
I always wondered. I don't know if you ever did. You ever wonder why when they leave a planet like this, you know, they know that the Empire is out there in this
Yeah.
point of space.
Why do they fly towards them?
That-
Why do they fly towards them?
Go that way.
In episode 1, the
Just
same thing.
whoop.
When
Hang a left.
when they're leaving the Naboo and the
Yeah.
blockades there, it's like, why are you going towards the blockade?
Blockade. around the whole
And a good
planet?
thing that they did land on the back because they're all lined up this way now.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right behind them.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
behind us.
But have you ever wondered why?
Oh
that was?
yeah,
I-
absolutely. And it gets pointed out in the spoofs, you know,
Yeah.
a lot. Totally.
The entire planet.
I'm not sure. Maybe it
It's
has
in the
something to do with
script, everybody.
escape velocity or escape.
Well,
Hyperspace
pitch
route
or
is only on
something.
that side.
I don't know.
I have the answer
Oh,
dear.
Well, then why'd you ask?
because I wondered
Entrapment.
forever. Also, like why don't they just fly? You know, over
Is
the
it-
planet
is
on
it
the
the
other
hyperspace
side of the
routes?
hemisphere?
Hyperspace lanes?
It's
Is that
the
what it is?
hyperspace
Yeah.
lanes. Like you can't just go into hyperspace from anywhere.
Yeah.
Because you got to get the coordinates from the nav computer.
That's right. The nav computer has certain spots where it
You find
calculates
yourself
from.
flying through a supernova or a black hole? Or
Ain't
something?
like
Yeah.
Deaths and Crops, boy.
So if you left the planet on the other side of the planet, you can't go. You have to come to that point because that's
Well, just, you know,
where they
you never
came
know where
from,
you
right?
might-
Well,
You don't know where
So
you might end
either
up.
way, you have to make your way there. That's why they're at that point. So there you
should
go.
put in more lanes.
Yeah.
You have to update the nav computer.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Every nav
you
computer
definitely
of-
could probably put more
Like,
lanes.
how do you
in.
update? Like all the ships, like is there some kind of wireless hub where they just download a firmware thing, update the nav computers?
guess,
you know,
yeah.
Come on.
Now, did you have
He seems
a
very calm.
AT-AT toy?
No, I always. It's
Corey and I did.
a regret. One Christmas, I could have asked either for an AT-AT or Castle Grayskull.
And you got Castle Grayskull?
Yeah.
I got Castle Grayskull too. Even though, well, you know me, I didn't really get Star Wars toys that much when I was younger.
We
for some
had.
reason. But
I had an AT-AT.
You had an AT-AT?
Corey and I had one because
Yeah.
like all of our toys back. This is like the power of the Force AT-AT too, of course.
Oh, right.
Oh yeah.
Because
Boo.
you open the cargo part and you have Belloc, not Belloc, but the bad guy from
Belloc.
What's his name in this?
Oh, Veers.
Veers. Gosh, yeah, I just keep thinking of Indiana Jones when I
General
see
Veers.
him. But like you have like the computer there, you press a button, it has this dialogue, and so that's how we memorize his lines. Like, yes, Lord Vader, you've reached your main power generator. You know, the shields be down in a moment. You may start your
Yeah.
landing, and you keep pressing it, and it shows like little Vader there. So it's pretty cool. And then I feel like we had a snow speeder. I can't remember that shot out like a tiny little rope tope cable thing.
I did have a snow speeder. Well,
Yeah.
technically it was my sister's.
the cool
But
sister.
yeah.
And then you
Original.
can like do this thing with it. We
So
tried
is
to
your
play
sister
around
as
with it.
big of a fan as you guys, or bigger?
No.
No.
No, I mean, she really loved him back then.
Oh,
And I guess she's still a fan, but no. Not like
how's she
me.
feel about the prequels?
I don't think I've ever asked her.
Oh,
Yeah. Probably the same that I do.
Here's the thing. Like I remember playing like the old arcade games of Star Wars and all that stuff. And it always pointed out that the weakness of the AT-AT is the neck.
yes.
Is that canonized though? Is that in Rebels? Do they talk about that in Rebels?
They do talk about
with
it in
the
Rebels.
clones when they're on the clones planet, like the weaknesses of the neck. Okay.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
I always think like that's one little piece I remember in this one specific game, and that was never exploited in other stories with the AT-ATs. Except for there, I think that's why it blew up because he shot it in the neck. But I guess it was until Rebels. That's right. And
Yeah.
Then
And I think
Trying
I
to
don't think a
figure it out.
snow speeder really has the firepower to penetrate the armor of that. I think X-wings do. which is-
U-wings do.
Yeah, and U-wings do.
Pretty
Absolutely.
cool. Seen a good old space monkey out there.
But you remember that? You remember like when Baze fires that rocket at its head
Yeah.
and didn't do anything,
Just
but then
knocked.
Well, too bad the ion cannon is in the up position. They should
Yeah.
lower it down. And
right. Yeah. Now, how do you feel about?
we had that thing too.
Oh, that gun.
That gun
Yeah.
just blew
We
up.
had, I think we had like
Yeah.
a Hoth set. or something.
And some ATSTs.
So what about? I got to keep bringing up effects wise. How do you feel about the effects of this sequence here with the AT-ATs?
Well, I love them.
Yeah.
Love it.
It's 1980. I mean, come on. It looks pretty cool. They've enhanced it, but it's still pretty cool.
I do feel like sometimes though, like there, I don't know.
Sometimes the color changes.
Not the color, but
I
this-
noticed that a little bit.
I get a little thrown off by the distance. Like,
Yeah.
I felt like in some of those earlier shots they were getting really close.
Yeah.
Right there, like they were really far away still. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm curious. I guess I mean you probably can see how many are there whenever they land. I mean, I guess there's 4 or 5 of them that
Look
are
like it.
there, but yeah, I just felt like I feel like
his body's crushed.
I love these shots. Some of these later ones too. When the rebels are on the ground, they're running away, and the AT-ATs are in the background. And but one thing I always wanted to see, and I don't know if we've seen it. I know we haven't seen it live action, but how the AT-ATs actually get to the surface.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Right. Mm-hmm. I mean, in episode 2, we see in the Battle of Geonosis, we see
Kind of like the drop.
the tanks kind of get dropped, kind of those little AT-ATs things, those little walkers. But these things are massive, and I mean, I don't know if have we ever seen them get?
I don't know if we've seen it, but it's very similar. What I've read is like they go ship. I think just kind of
Drops them off.
drops them off a little bit, like a Star Destroyer drops them off. But or one of those cruisers. But we're saying that, but then Last Jedi is
Like I
coming
love
out.
that shot. That's
Yeah.
a fantastic.
Like, how do the bigger ones in Last Jedi get dropped off? And those are like 5 times bigger than these AT-ATs.
Yeah, exactly.
And these are also, it looks like they're in Last Jedi as well, but then you have the much bigger ones.
Yes.
Gosh, what drops that off?
At first, I actually always anticipated that they actually flew down somehow, but I don't think they can't. They don't have any like thrusters and stuff on them, right? So somehow they get dropped off
Pretty.
down there.
Oh! There goes Luke murdering a bunch of people again.
Yep. See, I
Still
don't like
see
that. I hate
stick.
that.
Because that one's not moving.
Yeah, it's like that's the kind of stuff
Well,
I
they could
wish.
have been aiming. They're like, wait for it, wait for it.
drops
They could have been like,
drops
wait a
it again
minute,
and
wait till
see,
he
and he's-
falls.
They're
Wait
probably
till-
going
wait till-
like,
wait
are
till
you
he
guys
falls."
seeing this
Yeah.
over here? Are you seeing
his
this?
pin fell out of his pocket while he was sitting down. I hate that. It's me all the time.
That's the only
Ooh.
that's the only kind of beef I have with any of these shots where like I if you're gonna fix some things, make sure you just fix some of the background stuff. That's
Yeah.
it. like a lot of that we'll see in Cloud City as well. That they didn't fix all the shots. They just fixed some of them. So.
I think that was the scene there. Sorry. I think C-3PO opens up that door that he was walking past with the yellow almost biohazard. So it was that.
Yeah. And at this point, like I said, at this point, Vader's actually like walking around the hallways, I think.
Yeah.
Looking for them.
Have you seen Han? Have you seen Han? Where's Luke? Have you seen him?
Have you seen this boy?
Like he enters here, but he's been kind of going around different places.
It's a mess in here.
But it's really neat, though, about that Twilight Company book. What's really neat about it is that how, I mean, these soldiers, it's weird how when all these books that we're reading with him, you find that they don't know about Darth Vader, and like everybody kind of talks about him, but they don't really know that he's there. Like it's almost they almost some of them actually think that the Emperor almost
right past
made him up to just make people afraid.
Wow.
It's a myth.
You know what I mean? Like he's a myth. So it's funny because like when they see him in the hallway, and he's just standing there deflecting blasters with his hand, they're like, he must have a shield. He's got. And I think he's a machine, right? A droid or a humanoid or something like that. Not humanoid, but cyborg or something like that. But he's like blocking it, and then all of a sudden,
I love the Harrison Ford point.
And then it's and then they get weirded out when they see the lightsaber come out, and it's like, and then they get fear. That's when, so it's like confusion, and all of a sudden it's fear because they see this guy that they cannot kill. And he's just mowing down everybody. It's like you saw in Rogue One. I mean, it's like, and he becomes obviously more practical and less of a myth. And by time, I mean, I would say by the time after this point, I mean, Vader's somewhat known, but still not fully realized. I mean, he's, for all that time, I guess, he has 19 years between episode 3 and 4, and I mean, we just don't know a lot about that time yet.
Do anything.
Yeah, but what is there to do, really?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's like
there. Besides when the rebel starts with, within 5 years, things aren't really happening then up to that point. But, so did you think when you watched, if you remember one of the first few times you watched it or the first time, when you heard Yoda and when he gets to Dagobah here coming up, I mean, did you have that thought at all? Like that wasn't Yoda? Like that was just some other character, or did you know that was Yoda?
I wish I could say
because I remember not thinking that was Yoda,
but I can't remember.
I totally remember. Like I remember when I first saw this, I remember him interacting with this creature. I thought literally that creature was going to take him to Yoda. Like that he wasn't going to be Yoda.
Right.
Like I was confused. I was totally shocked by that. Now, because I don't, back then, obviously, I didn't pay attention to trailers or posters and stuff like that. I didn't know what he looked like or, what if he, because I don't think Yoda's not even on the Empire Strikes Back poster.
Right.
I mean, it's
there's no one.
Yeah, there's no picture of him or anything like that. And there's no, I never saw a trailer or anything about Yoda, so I was really like, I remember being like, okay, I wonder what Yoda's going to look like because this little creature's going to take him to it.
It's a cool, big, awesome creature.
And see, I'm really happy with this sequence too because we finally, as opposed to A New Hope, we actually see the speed and the maneuvering of the Millennium Falcon. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like we never got that in because one of the. I mean, I hate to say it, but like one of the probably the worst sequence I feel like is in any movie, any of the movies, is the escape from the Death Star.
Yeah,
because it's just floating, and it's not. It would look like this
lazily to the left.
You know what I mean? It would look like this. It would look like them flying by and these ties are chasing after them, so that's the one.
This part is awesome.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. Ow.
What is he? Does he yell Chewie from down there? Is that what he yells?
Yeah.
Chewie? Oh, okay.
Why don't you do something about it?
I love this sequence. It's really good. So what do you how do you feel about the dynamic of
That's great.
the of Han and Leia in this movie?
I think it's fantastic.
You
Probably
can-
the best in the series, probably.
Cut the tension with a knife.
Yeah.
It's palatable.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I love it so much is it's such a good love story.
It's a love story without, going episode 2.
It's a tough
love story.
It's a tough guy love story.
It doesn't dominate the story.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's there's context.
Yeah.
Episode 2, everything's on their sleeves.
Yeah.
This, it's all subtext. It's all under what they're really saying. It's all with the looks and the emotions. It's not just like, you're breaking my heart. I love you, but I don't want to love you.
Yeah.
It's not nothing like that.
Yeah.
Like there's the scene coming up when the first kiss. It's like, it's awesome. It's one of my favorite moments.
Now, do you want to see in a comic or a book where she expresses her true feelings for him?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you said earlier.
Oh,
Where were they? The Outer Rim? Or I can't remember now.
What just then?
You should have seen us in
Yeah. It was in the. He's referring to when they're in the tunnels, right? When she was telling him to stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh yeah, it's that
She
part.
expressed her true feelings.
Yeah.
Well, you have a lot to learn.
Now, what's again, I'll bring a different perspective, but I read, I did the Leia book, which is part of the journey to Last Jedi, and in that book, which takes place 3 years before A New Hope, so 6 years before this, obviously. But Leia has a very strong relationship in that book with another kind of senator in the process, right?
Of course.
Oh.
So it's it's in that book she's learning to be a princess and what it takes to be the princess of Alderaan. And but it's funny because there's a couple references in there because of her demeanor and how she acts. They're like, you're probably not going to end up with someone like so and so. You're probably going to end up with some. I mean, I think they even say scoundrel. I think they actually say scoundrel a couple times. It's funny. But
It's a very one syllable first name. I don't know. Sounds
Yeah.
right. Sounds about right.
You're just going to end up solo.
yeah. All right.
This guy crashes a lot. He's crashed twice in this movie already.
He has crashed twice.
And apparently,
That's hilarious.
He crashed in Last
Yeah.
Jedi as well. Or like that's how he got to Octo Island. I don't know. That's the rumor.
No.
That's for another show.
For what?
The rumor is that Luke, in backstory, crashed his X-wing on Octo Island. Because there's a picture on like a trading card of it like submerged in water. So it's like, what? How did he?
That's why he does it. That's why he's stranded there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just doesn't know. He never knows how to land. He's never learned how to land.
Yeah. He's like, I'm not lost. I just crashed my ship. I couldn't get out of here. You couldn't find me.
That would make sense. Like,
Yeah.
whoa.
I thought R2 was a goner after he had eaten.
Oh, that's
No.
it. He did.
He's done.
See, if this was the prequels, all of a sudden he would have
Some cool
propeller,
gadget
not
to-
a propeller. Yeah, propeller.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah.
all around.
Yeah,
It's
right?
like, where's that been?
Well, he probably does. You just can't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
He's got. How else is he floating?
That's the base.
At the bottom.
It's the bottom.
Oh, he's just rolling around in there. Yeah, that's good.
Ooh, he farted just then. See the bubbles popping behind him?
It's just his exhaust.
So
It is much deeper for Luke.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's deep. I mean, look how big that thing
That's
is.
scary.
It's deep.
Lightsaber's not going to work now. It got all wet. Whoop.
Yeah. Okay, so now he's on Dagobah. What's the? I mean, to you, really, what could possibly be kind of the expectation that Luke is actually, looking for here on Dagobah as far as training? I mean, he has no idea who this guy Yoda is, right?
It's-
I mean,
Probably the best news he's heard all past 3 years is like, finally a lead. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll go.
Yeah.
I'm so excited, but no, he's. I mean, it makes sense because he gets so frustrated so easily.
Yeah.
All that pent up, just wanting to learn something.
Well, then on top of that, what was your expectation of Yoda? If you remember, like what did you want from him? What did you want from that character for it?
I just remember thinking that Yoda was hilarious.
Oh, really?
When I watched this, yeah. I mean, he's got the most sense of humor in this movie than any of the other movies.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
No, mine.
He makes a switch though in this movie as well. He's the
does.
goofy one. Then suddenly, when it is revealed that he's Yoda, he is the calm,
Yeah.
more calm.
Yeah, he starts
guy.
having those creepy looking faces too.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
You will be.
Yeah.
I'm drunk.
I love watching the
This is our first look at the back of his head.
He should have gagged a little bit watching that.
Yeah. Oh. See, why was he doing that with the door open,
Yeah.
or with his pod?
I think he walked in
Cracked.
right when it was kind of
Yeah.
opening and coming down.
Did you not see the do not disturb sign?
There was a sock on the door. Respect the sock.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
No, but
That's an
Yoda
interesting shot.
to
Yeah,
me
that.
was, I mean, that's why he became quickly my favorite Star Wars character. Is that not only was I totally unexpected that was Yoda. I mean, I was surprised just as much as Luke was, but I love the fact that he made him so small.
Yeah.
Because, and honestly, a lot older. I mean, 800 something years old, 890 years old at this point, or something like that. It's like, it is the most unexpected view of a Jedi Master that you can think of. Because at this point, what have we seen? We've seen Obi-Wan and we've seen Luke. I mean, that's it. And you kind of. It's at this point too. It's even hard to me in a way back then. Think of other Jedi like aliens, like a Ai Sakura or Kit Fistu or
That Dexter or that
Yeah.
whatever that race of alien, that one with the many arms.
right.
The bigger ones, the bigger guys.
I keep thinking of. I just anticipated Yoda being a human.
Yeah.
So when you start getting introduced that other species were Jedi, and then the littlest one was the Grand Master of the
Yeah.
Council, it's like, wow, these guys are.
Well, wars
Powerful.
not make one great.
Yeah, it's it's the whole thing.
Size matters not, right? So that's why I really fell in love with Yoda on that instance. That especially once I saw him fight in the prequels.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh yeah.
I mean, I want more stories of Yoda. I want to know what his backstory is. I don't know if we'll ever get it necessarily, but I think we will get something. But
Well, it's very brave of them to, make a major character be a puppet.
absolutely,
That was obviously, and I think I've heard that they had reservations about that too. Like, is this going to work? This is a
Right.
major character, and he's a Muppet,
Yeah.
basically.
yeah, because somehow they made it work. I mean, they had him walking away. They had him walking around his hut. I mean, obviously that part is easy, but the part of him like walking away right here coming up, it's like, I mean, that's a full wide shot. I mean, this, but yeah. But back then it was Jim Henson obviously being the best in the business. I mean, it's like that's one of the most iconic shots right there. Yeah, it's like he's by far. Who is your favorite character, by the way? Star Wars.
I mean, Yoda's definitely up there. So is Obi-Wan and Luke. Not just to give it to the guys.
So you're a light side guy, though. Sounds like, huh?
Well, also Boba Fett.
Yeah. Boba Fett's my number 2.
Yeah. But I mean, when I was younger, it was always Luke.
Ah, yeah.
I related to him because I was so heroic. Also,
That's pretty cool guy.
And you always went to Tosh Station and got power
Yeah,
converters.
Exactly.
You're big. It's equivalent to going to Radio Shack all the time.
This. I love this.
You know, I gotta say a real quick thing. I wasn't gonna bring this up, but I'm going to anyway.
It's a pretty weak flashlight.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of reading that new book that just came out, Legends of Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Legends of Luke Skywalker. The funniest thing, because it's a short book. Audio wise, it's only a little over 6 hours, so a couple hours in, but it's about enjoying it. It's really about this group of people that are together, kind of telling stories about what they heard. This is after Return of the Jedi, and they're telling these stories about Luke, and it's funny because someone brings up that he that he must be a horrible mechanic because he's always going to Tosh Station for power converters, and the power converters last a long time unless you just don't install them right. So he's clearly either a bad mechanic or he's lying to his Uncle Owen because he wants to go waste time. So he's not actually.
That's what Uncle Owen says. He calls him out on it.
If he got
You
anything
waste
from
time with
his,
your friends,
yeah,
right?
if he got anything from his dad was a great mechanic.
Oh,
He could
yeah.
fix anything.
He could fix anything. Yeah,
So
try it.
I don't know.
But it's funny to have them talk about like,
Yeah.
oh, he must be a bad mechanic.
I've noticed that on other like Star Wars stories now, or listening to it, reading to it, is that they will poke fun at these, culture references that we've created about weird things,
like
of
the
Star
parsec.
Wars. Parsec thing, absolutely.
Yeah.
14 parts, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that I've caught a few of that. I wish I could think of another one, but yeah.
Yeah, they
It
actually
happens.
mentioned that in the book too. Like they say, isn't Luke the one that made the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs? Like that's not Luke, that's Han Solo.
Or like little things like why they went to the reaching of explaining why Leia uses a British accent to Tarkin. The mistake that they made while filming it, they actually explain it, or little things like that.
Right.
I think even from a certain point of view, even explain why the modal nodes played almost the same song all the time.
Yeah, they did.
Because the
And
guy,
don't
I think
remember really
the bartender
now,
just said, you just keep playing. Don't
Keep
care what it
playing.
is, just keep playing. Like, all right, and they just literally played the same thing.
Yeah.
But it's the
You're a
music.
Modal Nodes fan.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Love modal notes. They're great.
You'd love that story. There's a story in a certain point of view about the band, like how they ended up there,
All
and
backstory.
why they were at that point, and the band leader just booked them gigs.
Yeah.
The other guys didn't really know where they were going. It's so funny.
Pretty nice.
They actually
Let's see
they
here.
got stuck being like a slave to one of the huts, I think, for a while. Like they were basically trapped in their
Oh, they were slaves for a while.
at their house
Yeah.
and just that's all they did was play.
This is a scene that I just love. It's just so romantic. But when I was in college, I took a directing class, and some of our exercises, we had a couple of the actors on campus. They were act at the scene, and us as students had to direct them. And each student, we analyzed the script, and we gave them different directions, different beats, and interpretations. But it was just the most fun activity I ever had in class. Was all day we were directing the scene, and then there was one point where the guy who was Han Solo kind of got tired of it, I guess. So he swapped, and I swapped out with him. So I ended up being Han Solo for a few of them. And the thing is, no one kissed in that whole, because in the scene they kissed, but no one actually kissed in the exercise. But they peer pressured me into kissing the Princess Leia lady.
Wow.
Yeah, it was because I was only.
Well, you were channeling Han
It
Solo.
was.
Right?
Well, I was so nervous. 'Cause I was dating. Now I'm married now. I was dating her at the time, but this is another girl, so I got really nervous. I was freaking out. I was like, someone better call her and let her know if this is okay. But
Nice.
it's like the whole class was telling me to do it. So hey, peer pressured by an entire student body.
Well, it's acting.
It was. It was
acting.
in the moment.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun though.
So, real quick before we get to the Emperor, but I love that shot back then when we first get to this Super Star Shore.
Mm-hmm.
It actually took me a couple of viewings to realize that when that asteroid hit that bridge, that guy disappeared.
Yeah.
Like
Probably dead.
I didn't really put that together until after a couple of viewings. Like,
Yeah.
oh, he just died because of that. Anyway,
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel. I'm real happy that they finally replaced.
The monkey?
The monkey. Yeah.
It's just he obviously is a little heavier.
Yes. No, I
Yes,
more
I do.
Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah,
It's Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, I do feel like they could have
thinned him up a little bit.
thinned them up a little bit. Now they're
Looks lazy.
the guy that is doing the Star Wars Revisited. He actually thinned him up,
Yeah.
Oh wow.
and it looks incredible.
That guy needs a job.
I know, and I'm thinking like,
Lucasfilm.
why couldn't they do it? I don't know.
I guess they're thinking, well, this is episode 5, so in episode 6 he's
It's very stressful.
become a little bit more emaciated
Yeah, he could have.
or whatever. But come on.
Or a HoloNet adds 10 pounds,
Oh yeah.
right? I mean, the HoloNet, yeah.
I mean that's what they say about Jabba the Hutt from 4 to
Oh right.
5. It's that or 6.
All those toe things he keeps eating.
Well, he
Yeah.
just ate. Yeah, he just ate his way.
Like, I don't have to move anymore. This thing will just slide me all across the room.
Yeah.
I would hate to. Oh, terrifying! Don't just toss that snake around, man.
What the, yeah. That was like pretty good stew, actually. Yeah.
Oh, don't eat from the spoon, the ladle, Luke. Look at this.
then
Put
you
it
put it
back in. Luke. He wasn't even looking. Oh, he should. Yoda should have called him out. I know what you just did. He's using all of his spoons. He's the worst house guest. I love that. I never noticed that before.
What?
He just like licked it and put it back in.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think like this. I remember listening to like this set. I think they like built it up, and there was like a huge, like
Track.
yeah, a huge thing. Like basically Jim Henson, whomever is underneath it.
Oh, underneath this?
Yeah, like this set that they built here.
The lighting in this movie is incredible.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like every
Yeah,
scene, it's
I
just
agree.
lit so well.
See, here's what that crazy. Like, he does a complete 180, and now
Yeah.
he's all serious. Who's that?
I mean, so honestly, did you? Because there's some talk about father right here. I mean, did you at all think Vader was his father?
Again, I wish I could remember.
You
but-
don't remember that?
No, because like I said, I've probably
Yeah, I
I've
can't
been watching this
recall.
movie since I was like 1,
Wow.
so I don't remember the first.
Yeah, but I
time.
mean, the time that you could actually understand
when
the
it
story.
finally sank in.
Yeah, because it wasn't, when I'm like 5, well, I didn't watch it when I was 5. I think I watched it sometime when I was 7, 8, maybe. But that point, yeah, because I was probably 7. It was like 84, 85. So I was like 7 or 8. Yeah, I didn't have the full context totally even then. But I sometime in the late 80s, probably, yeah, I would say late 80s. I just remember watching them one after the other. And I remember watching A New Hope thinking like, wow, there's so much in here that I understand more because of just the story. I was so intrigued by obviously just the stormtroopers and the blasters and the lightsabers, but to actually get into the heart of the story, it's like, yeah, I remember I felt when he says, "No, I am your father." Like I was like, "What? Wait a minute, that's his father?"
No. Oh, nice ears.
And that's the part. That's the part where it gets a little rough too right now because when you have kids, again, it's like it's so out there now that Luke's father is Darth Vader. It's hard to hide that part from them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's so hard. But
Well, I mean, if you show them 1, 2, and 3 first, you're not hiding it.
Yeah.
yeah, but even I'm just saying, like, before they actually understand and grasp story, they may just hear that because
Sure.
there's so much out there now that talks about, oh, Luke's his father. Vader's Luke's father. It's like,
This part also scared the crap out
Oh
of me.
yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
being a kid and be like, yeah.
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 It's
Well, I really thought this whole slug inside the slug thing was a brilliant
disgusting.
concept. Like, yeah. I mean, you really think they're just in a cave and they're
So
safe?
these
and,
Minox
you know.
are inside the mouth of the worm.
Yeah, the
Nuts.
giant worm. But how does a worm end up on that asteroid
Space worm?
in the first place? You know, it's like
Flies through space. I don't know, or just got.
Well, it was a
there.
planet
Part
and-
of it, yeah.
I don't
just
know.
Blew off with the chunk or something.
Yeah. Not sure.
guess.
It's a big asteroid.
Yeah.
it's a big worm.
Yeah.
Big.
Nasty.
I mean, you think he's like trying to scratch his neck right now?
Yeah, you
like,
feel-
what the heck
I
is
feel
sitting?
Feel like, yeah.
I got
What is this?
going on. What the heck is this thing?
I need a
I get
lozenge.
shot here too. Like, oh, that would feel weird.
But even though even though I want to say his budget, even though his budget went from, I think he had 10 million for A New Hope, and I think this only went to 30, which he actually took a loan out for himself, funded the whole thing by himself. George Lucas, that is. I mean, even tripling your budget. I mean, we got, if you really think about it, so many different locations in
Yes.
this movie, and so many different views and
Yeah.
shots, like you talked about the cinematography of this thing. I mean, you got so many different set designs in this. And of course, at the time, I mean, we couldn't make Cloud City the way he really wanted to,
Yeah.
but even just the thought of attempting that back in 1978 when they shot this thing, it's like
Yeah.
it's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Once again, he just has to beat her up the ramp. Can't wait for her to get up there.
And you notice the Falcon's got the white lights there,
Yeah.
so that's the color correction that's wrong, because those are actually supposed to be green.
Green?
Yeah, if you watch like in Force Awakens, they're like green, or if you watch
Well,
the
you can-
pre this Blu-ray, they
Color
were
temperature
green.
variable. You know, you can.
The color correction on this is not that great. Not the
I've noticed. I was,
Blu-ray conversion kind of messed with some of this stuff.
Well, I was looking at some shots with Cody Geiler from The Office. Like cockpit shots of like Force Awakens when Han Solo walks in the cockpit for the first time. It's like looks like this. The headlights around the cockpit are kind of that kind of bluish light, and then Luke when he's in that teaser. Walks in. It's like a different, it's like an orange brownish kind of look. I was trying to explain. Maybe they're just there. You can
You could dim them. You can dim them.
You can fade
maybe?
the color
Yeah,
temperature of those lights. I'm sure.
probably could. Yep.
Whoa.
He's really training.
Yeah.
This is Jedi training.
I think someone made a joke like,
Yoda on your back.
yeah, what is it like? Someone made a joke about this is what we're gonna see in Last Jedi. Like the only way Luke knows how to train is like doing this. So he's gonna be on Rey's back, like, make her do
that
flips.
would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Swing. That's like now swing on this vine or something like that. That's like some artist graphic or something. It's pretty cool. You smell bad now. You
Yeah.
smell.
You smell
nasty.
bad. So eventually, we get to, I think here coming up, we actually get our first glimpse of bounty hunters
Yep.
and Boba Fett, obviously, because at this point in the theatrical release, we had not seen Boba Fett yet. Well, actually, you saw him once in the holiday special. That's where he was actually introduced.
Right.
Which he was such a. I mean, everybody fell in love with him in that holiday
Yeah.
special. But of course, he was added in the special editions of A New Hope and that Jabba scene. But technically, this was the first time we saw any kind of bounty hunters. Did you even, at a young age, really, did you even kind of grasp the concept of even what a bounty hunter is? Because I didn't.
No.
But I definitely thought they looked cool.
Yeah.
I didn't read. Did you read any of those EU stories, the bounty hunter stories?
Oh, like the tales.
Yeah.
No, I mean I've read like Wikipedia articles about them, but cause I think it actually it's established some pretty interesting pieces of canon for those stories, and I think they've since brought some of those ideas into canon, but I never actually read them.
Yeah, more bounty hunters. But this part, I remember even now though, it's like, I mean, this is obviously a big test of being a Jedi and all this stuff. But like, how? I mean, were you confused at all by the scene?
Yeah.
So what were your thoughts after the scene? Really, when you first saw it, or a few times?
One of the earliest things I can remember is, so Luke is Vader, or a guy that looks just like him is in there. Like, I was confused, and I remember my sister having to explain it to me, and
no,
like,
idiot.
Oh, I was completely confused.
Yeah, exact same thing. And then either he is Vader or that was Vader. He has a twin brother that was Vader or something like that. But like it's. I remember being really confused. It's like Sixth Sense. It's like, what the heck just happened?
The only slow motion in Star Wars, right?
Yeah,
in this
exactly. The only other, and I've noticed that too. Like in Force Awakens when we watched that, like there's other parts where there's a unique way they use the camera or unique editing thing. Like this is like that kind of slow motion, ghosting, whatever. Episode 2, there was like a point of view shot, first person point of view shot that you don't really get too often. And like Force Awakens, there's like another kind of weird slow motion kind of thing. So it's you don't get that, that kind of very editing or camera movement very often. Usually it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
I wonder if doing slow motion lightsabers was harder, or if they like run it slow motion in post or something. I don't know.
Actually,
yeah, it's like
if he fights in slow motion, it looks like Luke can
that was
win.
easy.
Yeah.
But now that you know the context of the scene, what is this? What do you feel like the scene is saying?
I mean, just that.
I have to think on this.
If he doesn't watch it, he can easily go to the dark side, and if he gives into his anger,
I think
that could be him in the suit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But do you think at all though that's actually saying that's
his father?
His father?
Good. Yeah, you can read. I think read into
that's his relative. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I mean, that's almost to me. It's almost foreshadowing.
Yeah.
That he is related to him somehow.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, but I never, saw that before.
Mm-hmm.
Where's your shoes, man?
Oh, he's stepping off the ledge. Gross.
Now you can name all these guys, can you? No?
Just about.
Yeah, I definitely want to see. Now we know why he says that now.
Yeah.
Notice integrations. That's in the book. But no, I definitely want to see more bounty hunter stories. I want to see these guys in action. I don't know if there's rumors that we're going to get a Boba Fett bounty hunter movie. We've seen some of them in Clone Wars, mainly Bosk and Dengar, and is Forlom in there, or is it? I don't know if you kind of get IG-88 and Force of Destiny.
Yep.
But there's definitely more. There's definitely more I want to see of those for sure.
Well, I hope they do from a certain point of view type book for all the original movies.
Oh wow!
Because you would totally get something in that scene of like a story of one of those or a few of those bounty hunters. That'll be the best.
But there's obviously some people that pointed out too that the reason why Boba Fett is able to track them is because of that experience in Episode 2, where they think that they killed Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he's stuck on that asteroid, and then kind of.
Yeah.
So they lose him here. They lose, obviously. Which is crazy that they're just on the back of a Star Destroyer. Like, you would think they would have some kind of sensor.
Cameras.
There's something
or cameras, yeah.
Something
like
on ship.
Or somebody in another ship would be like, wait a minute. Captain Nita. Poor Captain Nita is going to his...
Now, I do remember, it's funny to remember as a kid, but I remember watching this with my family and saying, like, wow, the guy who plays Luke is really strong.
Yeah.
And they're like, he's held up with wires.
It's like, no, that's impossible. Yeah.
Oh, like he's actually doing that?
Mhm.
Yeah. That would be pretty impressive for Mark Hamill
Yeah.
to do that. Yeah, this is probably
Oh, ow.
Oh, yeah.
my favorite scene with Yoda coming up. I mean, this
Oh,
is,
yeah.
but not just the part where he actually does it, but like his whole monologue here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because
Like the
this is
Force.
kind of the first full explanation that we get of the Force, right? I mean, Obi-Wan talks about it a little bit, but it's still kind of mysterious, you know. And this is kind of the full explanation of
Yeah.
how it interacts with beings and you know all this stuff. So it's if you would only listen, you would,
Exactly.
he would.
Bird keeps flying by.
He does keep flying by. Yeah, he's circling, waiting
Yeah.
to strike.
Yeah.
Do you think he was gonna get it out?
No.
No. Yeah.
You can't get a lightsaber out. Come on.
But you do, you know,
He gets so
Yoda
excited.
does kind of think, is he actually going to be able to do
I know.
this?
I don't really think you're going to do it. You should. You surprised me.
And then he's
You
just
R2, shut up. Disturbing him.
Oh.
So a little more
close this
perspective too before he. The certain point of view book. Obi-Wan appears to Yoda after he dies in episode 4 and talks to him about training Luke, or talks to him about training Skywalker, and Yoda is very excited, but he thinks he's talking about Leia.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yes.
So wait, he actually materializes for him?
I don't think so. I think it's just voice. I think right, Case. I think he's just talking to him through the Force.
Yeah.
Wow.
But he really felt like, I mean, all the stuff that he's talking about. Like you remember when he first gets there, he's talking about he's reckless. He's repeating those same words. And remember, this is 3 years before this even happens. So Yoda's like, no, Leia's the one. She's the one that's ready. She's more mature. Luke is just, again, like he says, looking to the future, doesn't care. He's in it for the excitement. So he really wanted to train Leia, and which would have been obviously a different storyline, but so you can kind of get that. I think you can, again, being years later, I think you can kind of get that frustration that he has with him in this movie.
Here we go.
This is awesome. Yeah.
Stop distracting him.
See, he can do it with R2 beeping.
Yeah. I loosened it for you.
Yeah. Actually, I think I'm doing it. You just don't know I'm doing it. Yeah. No, great.
That's a
Pretty
great
cool.
shot.
Mm-hmm. Pretty impressive.
I don't believe it.
Yeah.
I don't believe it. Yeah.
Nice.
So
Can you
he's
clean it up
not,
for me too.
what's a little, to me, what's not tough to swallow, but tough to realize too, is that he hasn't actually been on Dagobah very long.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently he's trained enough to, not need much more training after this, because he's not, he comes back a year later and he's basically fully trained or whatever,
Well,
you know what I mean?
who
Like,
knows? I don't know what's happened since then.
it is a little difficult to gauge time in these films, because it's
Yeah.
like a couple days or it's like a week.
I mean, that's, and again, always going back to it from a certain point of view, but like there's a story in there that kind of makes me rethink the length of time of episode 4
Right.
as well. Where you thought it was like 2 days, but it might actually be like a week and a half.
Yeah, I think it was probably. The sense I got was actually as close to a week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
seems like it.
yeah. So you could think maybe this, because traveling hyperspace doesn't take a few minutes. It takes hours to get from one place to the other. So it's. But a lot of this stuff obviously is happening at the same time, also, right? I mean, like whatever's happening here is happening with Luke, and so I would say he got a couple hard days of training in as a Jedi, I guess. I don't know.
That's good. Call it a day.
I mean,
call it a week.
Yeah, which is strange because him being older, it's almost he's missed so much.
It's weird. They're going so perpendicular with each other. Star Destroyers.
Has anybody ever asked what does Chewbacca carry in that satchel?
So ask him that.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't want to ask. Don't want to know.
And where is? Can you see the switch?
Yeah, I don't know.
Can you ever see the switch when you see him from behind?
It's a touch ID. I don't know.
The switch.
For C-3PO.
She switches on the back somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know.
Lando
system.
Lando's not a system. He's a man.
So I wonder now, like after Solo comes out, how will that change our perspective of this whole?
Yeah, what's your take? What's your feeling on the Han Solo movie?
I don't know. It's the first time that we've recast for a Star Wars character, major Star Wars character.
Major, right?
So,
I'm sure it'll be fine, but
it's gonna be a tough pill to swallow.
I don't like it.
Big matzo ball. Yeah, it's still waiting. I don't know. I don't know how I'm gonna feel.
Yeah.
I mean, it will though. It will truly change. I think this movie, the way you see this movie, because I mean, obviously you'll know his past with Lando fully. More so, I think everything they're talking about, you'll have a reference to now.
Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure that was a long time ago. I'm sure you didn't remember
Or
that. You know what I mean?
Like bit where Lando says, look, you come all this, what does it say? Like, you have a lot of guts coming here after what you pulled. A lot of nerve coming here.
Yeah.
I read on Twitter someone said that Boba Fett's thing antenna right there, that's a selfie stick.
Oh. Always get the selfie.
That's hilarious.
It's nice.
But no, I mean, I think, how he wins the Falcon.
Yeah.
How he meets Lando, whatever adventures they go through.
I mean,
I feel like Lando is going to be in it a lot more than we think.
I think he's going to be in a lot. Yeah, I think.
Especially with a caliber actor like that, you have to put him in that movie a lot. Donald Glover. Not Donald Glover. Donald Glover.
Donald
Donald
Glover,
Glover, yeah.
No, Danny Glover.
I keep thinking Danny Glover, yeah.
No relation.
But definitely, all the things that they reference in their past.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's definitely going to change that perspective for sure.
The future.
The future.
Seems like the Skywalkers can see the future pretty well.
Well, yeah, and I always wonder about that too because you just don't hear that very often, even though it's an incredible power to even think about having, is being able to see the future. You would think that, I guess in the prequels, I remember, if you remember in episode 2 when Yoda says,
difficult to see the future.
difficult to see. I mean, the Palpatine had a lot to do with clouding.
Yeah, Palpatine. It's like Palpatine could really see the future. Like he saw, it seems like years, decades in advance. Yoda could do it, and then like almost all the Skywalkers can.
Well, and then we found out, and I think this is pretty canon right now, right? Is that Cypher Diaz was the one that actually had precognition, which was able to actually see a future, like more concrete future than just a vision. Like he knew there was going to be a war, and he knew that the now seeing the full context of things and maybe the connection is not so clear, but
So that's why he had the clone army built.
that's why he had the clone army built. That's right.
But didn't bother to tell anyone about it.
He didn't. Well, because he got killed shortly after. Or not necessarily killed, because we find out he was kind of alive later, but he got captured by Dooku for a while. I don't know if I think that was part of a comic before that's not really canon now, but Dooku's actually using his blood
That was
for Grievous.
That was previous.
That was previous
EU
canon.
yeah.
Yeah, no longer canon, but he used his blood for Grievous.
Yeah.
So was Dooku one of the first Jedis to turn bad?
He was the 20th.
The 20th?
Or one of the lost 20,
Dooku?
but I think he was the last,
Is it Dooku?
the most recent one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The latest, the latest one. Yeah.
Because they were all, that's impossible. He was a Jedi.
Yeah. He left the order.
Well, he's one of 20 that had chosen to leave the order. I think, right? That's
But was he the only one of the 20 to go to the dark side?
that we don't know. That we do not know. I don't know if they
Probably. I mean, not.
I don't think they knew. Yeah,
Maybe not.
I mean that then they didn't even know there's really Sith around, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so I don't think that depending on how far back the 20 went, if it was, but within the last millennia, 1,000 years, they didn't even know that there was Sith around still. So there could have been those 20 leaving at that time, just not really. Now again, that's ones that left on their own decision, right? I think because
Yeah.
there were plenty that were not accepted into the Jedi, or Asajj Ventress being
Yeah.
one. Yeah, I think I don't know. Seeing those guys young, it's hard for me to think about that, man. It's really hard to think. Not young, but like as different actors.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know if I've asked you on the show before, but would you been more comfortable of them doing what they did with Tarkin in Rogue One? Would you be on board with that?
For a whole movie?
Yes, a whole movie.
No, probably not. I'd probably just say, don't do it.
Don't make it. Don't make
Just don't
Han
make
Solo
it. Just
movie.
don't make it.
Yeah.
I am I'm very surprised. Actually, Casey, it was funny because I didn't start the audiobook till later in the week, but I started listening. I listened to a couple shows we did a long time ago, and one of them was I can't remember. I think it was when they announced Han Solo. I think when they announced Han Solo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we had mentioned on there, like, there was all these rumors about different types of movies. That was never really mentioned. It just kind of came out of nowhere that all of a sudden they were going to do a young Han Solo movie. Because I remember we were talking about that, how, it was Rogue One for sure. They were already announced that one, but it was like Boba Fett, Obi-Wan. There was those were really the only ones they were talking about. And then all of a sudden it was like, no, we're going to do a Han Solo. But then it was like, Han Solo, what? Like with Harrison Ford? But but no. It was like before episode 4, and
It's tough.
And how do you do that? But
Yeah.
so now we get to the revelation of another Skywalker. I mean, could it? I mean, it was hard to think back then again about who could it have been, but to me, it was like, who else could it have been? It's like,
Let's say, like introduce a new character somewhere along the line.
Right.
Yeah.
oh, so there's going to be more movies after this.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh.
No, I always used to think sometimes Obi-Wan is see-through, sometimes he's not. I
Yeah.
guess he never was see-through, though, was he?
He's supposed to be transparent, isn't he?
Well, this part here, or
He's transparent here, isn't he?
no, not
Nope.
really.
Not at all.
No,
Oh,
in
yeah.
episode 6, he's not.
Oh, yeah,
walking
you're
around,
right.
sitting down on a log. He's pretty.
No, I guess maybe in Hoth he was.
Yeah, he was a little see-through.
He was
now.
transparent.
kind
Yeah.
of transparent. Well, he's sort of there. You can see through his bottom
See,
half.
I think he's
A
transparent.
little bit. Yeah.
But they do interact with, it seems like they interact with
Yeah.
matter,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
I guess they choose to.
they choose to.
They don't have
Yeah.
to.
But there, you can't see through him.
Yeah, that's hard. You know, all you have to do is turn down the transparency.
I know.
And, but see, I
Oh,
think
yeah.
his body a little bit, maybe.
Maybe. But his face, not.
If you choose to face Vader, you will do it alone. I cannot interfere.
They're surprised by this.
Yeah, very surprised.
They're like, what?
But what do you think of a story? I mean, what do you
Yeah,
think?
his bottom half.
Pretty transparent.
Yeah, he is transparent there. But what do you think of a story actually that could have come out of this? Which is, I mean, technically Luke could have gotten killed,
Yeah. Oh, that's it.
and then Leia does become the other hope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All of this.
Yeah, this, it's
Lighting
like,
here.
well, yeah, the lighting, but
He disappears.
he's our last hope.
Yeah.
No, there's another. Yeah, I know. I
Yeah.
was in the prequels too.
That boy is our last hope.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, they never
Yeah.
explained that.
What?
No, there's another. Well, obviously, Obi-Wan knows that. He was there when they were born.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
Just-
but
you know,
there's
just being a jerk. It's like, yeah, okay, I know.
well, I guarantee if we kept showing him, yeah, he probably would have said, but she's
Yeah.
not trained, right?
Yeah.
She's not trained at all, and she has no idea.
Yeah.
I think it'd
She's
be
too
one thing if
interested
she
in this
knew.
Han Solo guy.
Too interested in the scoundrel.
Mm-hmm.
But I do love what I love most about the some of these stories, like in the comics and stuff with Leia after Alderaan. I mean, she is, you know, again, she doesn't. Yeah, she's not learning the Force or anything like that. But there's a lot of hints, even in the book prior. There's a lot of hints of her using the Force, and she doesn't know she's using it.
Yeah.
though.
Cool.
You know what I mean? Like she senses things about people. She
Yeah.
senses things about this connection, you know, or I mean, she has these feelings, and it's like she's using it. She just doesn't know how she's using it, you know. So
I mean, she's the only one who remembered her mother,
Yeah,
her
she
real
is.
mother, and she
is.
was a newborn.
I
Yeah.
know. I tried to look and to see if she opens her eyes in episode 3, but she doesn't.
It's only,
I
I
don't-
think, she opens her eyes at the end when she's on Alderaan. That's what it is.
I know, but
It's which that doesn't make
yeah,
sense.
that's not Padme.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh gosh.
Stupid
it's
Ugnaughts.
Yeah.
those are Ugnaughts. Yeah, Ugnaughts.
How do you know he got all the pieces?
Now, some people say they swore when they first saw episode 4 that C-3PO had 2 gold
Yeah.
legs.
I'm telling you, I think so too.
The alternate reality.
Yeah, that's
I've always, dude. You remember him as a silver leg?
no, not until like
A few
like
years ago.
now.
Yeah.
it was like, wait, when did that happen?
Yeah.
Like I do remember noticing it, like silver leg. What?
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing
Yeah, but you had C3PO as a toy.
Yeah, I remember seeing it wasn't the toy, it was like a figure or whatever, a bigger one, and I was like, why is his leg silver? And then went back and
Yeah.
watched the movie, and I was like, it is silver.
Yeah.
But before that, I don't know, I thought it was all gold.
No, and
I
I
think
think
the
I think the old toys were all gold.
Yeah.
The toys were, yeah.
yeah.
But I think in the movie, he used to be all gold.
I think so
I
too.
think it was.
Isn't that crazy?
That's
Look, there's another one
crazy.
Yep.
that had looked like a silver leg.
Crazy stuff, man.
Now, see, I love the new parts that they did, but they didn't. They weren't consistent about it because look at this. So that's behind him, right?
Yeah.
Right. And this part is just incredible too. Like the power of Vader right here.
man,
It's like
yeah.
what?
He
can do
And
that?
I'll take that and that. Thank you.
I mean, what do you do?
Yeah.
I mean, what do you do?
I know,
See
really-
right there. The elevator should be right there.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think it's right to the left. It's to the left.
No,
That's where
because
the
that's
elevator is.
they just went down those steps right there.
Nah.
They've pointed it out that they didn't finish that shot because that's the same pattern, the design at the bottom. It is, and they didn't finish that behind them either. If you look, the little buildings is,
Well, they can't all be buildings everywhere. There's got to be some.
but they all got to look
Space.
what they do look like now.
Yeah.
They still look like the bad stuff, bad whatever.
Anyways, that where he's catching the blasters, it's. I remember thinking as a kid, just like, well, how are you gonna beat this guy?
No, you
There's
can't.
no way you can beat him.
And I'm glad that, like I said, I'm glad in Twilight Company on Hoth, they show him doing that also. Again,
Yeah.
it's like because that's the only time you see him kind of stopping bullets like that there, but or blaster lasers, but yeah. So 3PO, it looks like his head's hollow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know. Like seriously, he's got
But
to
how did
solder
one-
all those wires.
Wait, so yeah, that's true. And I guess did the Ugnaughts just finish the job? Because one blast didn't destroy all those pieces, right?
Well, you see like his foot and his leg slide right
Yeah.
after the blast.
Yeah, but did they take off the rest of his stuff? Because it looks like
I don't know.
I mean he just blew up almost.
And those were stormtroopers,
It might have been when he
right?
got
They
pushed
did that?
back.
They were
because of the
stormtroopers.
blast.
Yeah, they were stormtroopers.
He could have popped apart
Yeah.
when he hit the wall or whatever.
Well, that's true. I guess. Yeah.
And I always wonder too, like, what exactly? How do they torture him with this? I always, as a kid, thought they just like stabbed him with that. Like, they just,
They
like,
never even asked him
smashed his
questions.
Yeah.
body. Yeah. Oh, this
I
is,
don't know what they're doing. I love that
It's
shot right
awkward.
there. I love that.
I'm gonna stand over here now.
Lord Vader, you may take Captain Solo.
And I'm actually glad they updated his voice.
Oh, Bubba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's no good to me,
Consistent.
did.
Lord Vader,
Tamara Morrison.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
they must never again leave this city.
That was never a condition of our agreement, nor was giving hand to this bounty hunter.
Easy.
So what
Your
do you?
friend's name is Han,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not Han.
I wonder if he'll say that in the Solo movie. And
He better.
And I want. And I mean, he's not really established fully, I guess, yet. But no one refers to him as Boba Fett in this movie. You know that?
Is he? Oh well, yeah. And Jedi, he's called Boba Fett. Boba
Yeah.
Fett. Boba Fett.
They made up for it. And they said it
But
like
they
5
just
times.
they name him. They just say bounty hunter.
Bounty
you know?
hunter.
He's all yours, bounty hunter. He's like, I want him to say Boba Fett.
I have
Darth
a
Vader.
name.
Darth Vader didn't have time to remember people's names.
But he's like worked with Boba Fett so many
I'm
times.
a person. My name is Boba
He's
Fett.
like, why don't you just call him Boba Fett? You know?
He's not worth it to him.
I guess.
Call you bounty hunters. That's all you are.
But what do you think overall of the character of Lando? How much
I love Lando.
he contributed to this
Yeah.
story?
Yeah, I mean, he definitely makes the Cloud City part of the movie stand out.
Did you think he would? I mean, did you have any thoughts of that he would actually become what he ends up becoming, which is basically one of the main
He
heroes?
becomes a general.
Yeah, general,
Right, yeah.
really fast.
I think they made fun of that actually in Twilight Company.
They did.
How like all these people are becoming generals and like they have no military experience.
Yeah. I mean, two scoundrels.
Yeah.
He leads the strike team on the ground. You know, he leads the strike team in the air. It's like, no, I think Lando. You know,
Oh,
it's funny because I don't know. I'm not sure he's one of those characters where I really care about his full backstory. You know, I mean, it's like, But he's obviously he's obviously a supporting character that comes in here and helps him. The guy that helps our heroes kind of get out of the situation at some point. But like with with Solo coming out, it's like I don't know how much I really need to know about his past, but
How about cinematography, man? It's just
This.
the set.
Yeah.
It's just brilliantly crafted.
Yeah.
Underlight and the stair lit and the blue in the
Yes.
back. It's ridiculous.
Lord Vader, we only use this facility for Covenant reason. You put him in there, it might
Very, very scary.
I do not want the Emperor's pride damaged. He will test it.
I wanted to have Lobot in the Solo movie. That'd be kind of cool.
I love
A
Lobot.
talking Lobot.
yeah, I don't know if they will or not.
Huh?
I feel like they've been together for a while.
Yeah.
But I think I want to say, for some reason, part of me feels like Lobot was part of Cloud City.
Well, he was one of those data analysts guys in the Empire, like what we saw in Rebels.
Oh,
Remember
yeah,
they
you're right.
kind
You're
of-
right. You're right.
They introduced
No,
us
maybe
to that
he
similar
maybe he
type
wasn't
of
there. Maybe he
headpiece.
wasn't there. Yeah, I don't know.
Do you think he has ears under there?
Yeah.
I think
yeah,
he
I think
did.
he does. Probably shriveled up.
Yeah,
Nasty ears.
I really
Terrible tan lines.
one of my favorite parts here too is I love when Chewbacca goes nuts. Like
Yeah.
that is full emotion that he's experiencing. Like
Put him in.
like right here.
Put him in.
It's like no way. You know. And I actually love that part.
died.
Vader, stopping him. It's
No, it's okay.
Listen to me. Chewie. Chewie, this won't help me.
yeah.
That
Just the
look.
look.
looks. That's great.
Yeah.
She senses something.
Fantastic shooting. Fantastic.
You hear me?
I hear you.
And be honest, you love the I know.
Oh, yeah.
right?
And how it gets pulled away right
It's
here.
just like
Yeah.
you don't need to say much. Episode 2. This is all you need.
Yeah.
No, no.
Best dad lib
I
ever.
got that T-shirt. So it
Love you.
says I know. Yeah, that's great.
So what is it? They digitally fixed his collar.
No, in the previous shot, this one's fine. In the shot where he says I know,
Yeah.
he had his blue vest on. and they
they
colored it
got
white.
rid of it. Okay.
They colored it white. Then all the other shots he didn't have it on.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
How's he get out of his
Yeah.
handcuffs?
It was almost
to
like
get
in
like this
almost like right there, like he busted
in the
out.
carbonite.
Actually, that's right. He doesn't have that when he wakes up, right? Or gets cut.
Well, yeah, when he
Well, it's
in the
when,
carbonite,
like,
he's
How does he get out of his restraints? Yeah.
Well, isn't it up here? It's on his shoulders, right? So he's able to do
But his
this.
hands are down and binded, aren't they? His arms and hands binded down.
No, he's down. His hands are down, but I think he's bound up here. I'm pretty sure he was bound up here.
still.
I don't want
he
to
was
rewind
able
it
to
now,
do
obviously,
this. Right.
but he doesn't have them when he gets out,
Yeah.
so they dissolve maybe.
So-
Whenever
so-
it's gets frozen, I guess
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then this shot.
It's gonna hurt.
Oh man,
He's
the
got
sound too.
Yeah.
It's just like he dead.
It's in his mouth. Ugh.
Yeah.
So did you
It's in my hair.
did you think, for one, did you think that they were gonna like rescue him in this movie?
You kind of think like, yeah, they
Yeah.
got to resolve this. I love how not shiny C-3PO has gotten.
Oh yeah,
You know, like the end of 4, he's all shiny.
yeah.
Reset the chamber.
It's all yours. I don't remember your
Yeah.
name, Bounty Hunter.
Boba Fett Bounty Hunter. Yeah.
Get a T-face guy. Oh, get out of here.
My face looks like a giant T.
Take the princess and the Wookiee
To my ship, my personal quarters,
altering the deed.
to my my egg-shaped.
I mean, you're right. That's the beauty of this movie is like, when you're watching it for the first few times, it's like we're so far into the movie now. I mean, we're like an hour and 40 minutes
Love
into
that
the
look
movie.
too.
And I mean, you really start thinking about like, how are they gonna get out of this? Like, this is
And look, you always think that it's like copper looking,
Yeah.
but it's just the lights, and you see it here.
it's
And
it's
you're like,
actually
oh, it's actually it's like
silver.
silver.
Yeah,
and it floats.
I really would.
It's a hoverboard.
I really would look to buy that.
oh yeah,
buy that.
absolutely.
I want,
Like,
I
did you
want
see the one where-
fridge one? Your fridge door is like.
Oh wow! I've seen it. Did you see where it's a coffee table and there's a piece of glass on top of it? And
Yeah.
like it's him underneath. Like that's awesome.
That'd be a long coffee table
Yeah.
if it's the scale.
It's got a float.
Did you see where they made one of Jar Jar that's in Lucasfilm?
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
They have a frozen and carbonate Jar Jar.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, they added that in the Destiny game. There's a part on, you're on Tatooine on Star Wars Destiny. You can go to Jabba's palace. You can just see him hung up on the wall.
Wait, Star Wars Destiny.
Sorry. Wait, Disney Infinity. Why did I say
Oh,
Destiny?
Disney
Sorry,
Infinity.
Disney Infinity.
Yeah, Disney
Sorry.
Infinity. Yeah. That's great. Now, stormtroopers are intentionally missing, I'm sure, in this shot. These shots.
I
Right?
meant to miss.
Yeah.
Of course you did.
Yeah. I'm strategically
Yeah.
shooting right next to you.
It's a trap, but no one remembers that reading of it's a trap. It's all
Yeah.
episode 6. It's a trap.
Akbar.
Akbar's
She,
reading.
she said it like Akbar. Yeah.
It's a trap. I mean, it's a trap.
Yeah. There you go.
It's a trap.
Oh,
They could have been right there.
Whoop.
Blasted him in the face. Shut up, Martin.
We couldn't get over that hump anyway.
Yeah.
well, he's got thrusters, remember?
These little rockets.
Does he though? Because he hasn't used them in forever.
The oil's all.
Well, he could have gotten them removed. They
Yeah.
could have been removed.
Yeah.
True.
Captain Antilles, maybe. You don't need these anymore.
You don't need. We don't need you flying away.
Yeah.
You're just an astro droid.
Yeah.
You would think an astro droid would need
Yeah.
thrusters. Though.
You just stay.
I had the trading card of that exact scene. A trading card.
Yeah. The digital version or the actual
No,
card?
the actual.
The actual
The
card.
actual 1980 card.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
That's awesome.
Mine
Now-
comes out slower.
Now, I mean, we didn't see him do any lightsaber training with Yoda. So he's just kind of going
But
by.
do you think he did?
I want to say he had to have,
Yeah.
but, you know,
Wasn't he just bring out his blaster? He's used it all this movie, and now he's going to use a lightsaber.
Harry, shoot.
do you think at all Vader's like, wait a minute, that saber looks familiar.
He's like, what? Where'd
Is that?
you
Hold on,
get
hold on.
that? Where'd you get that?
Yeah. Because again, according to canon and stuff like that, I mean, Vader's been looking for him for a couple of years now. Like he knows that's his son out there.
Hey, you know, Lobot. It's always quiet. It's a loud mouth.
think you're doing?
We're supposed to be going to Vader's ship. Come on.
Yeah. Now, is it weird to you that like I thought it was weird to me that in episode 7, Force Awakens, we finally see. I didn't know Chewbacca had fingers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was that weird?
It was weird.
I'm like, does he have paws? But I guess he has fingers.
I guess. But you don't, like right here, you don't see it.
No, you never see him. But yeah, what is he grabbing him with? I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
and I, yeah, I mean,
You don't see his feet very often
and
either.
you, and
Right.
he shoots blaster coming up, right? I mean, he's
Yeah.
got a. I guess he has
Opposable
fingers.
thumbs. Yeah.
It was really weird to see
When he
him
was
shoot that,
click,
hit that
click.
detonator. Like I was really weirded out by
What?
that because I saw it
Yeah.
in the trailer. I'm like,
Yeah.
he has fingers. I guess he has fingers.
Now, how do we know that? Oh, I guess you see his feet right there.
Yeah.
How do you know that Boba Fett's ship is called Slave One?
How do you know that?
Where's actually
Yeah.
said or
Yeah, I think in packaging is the only
Outside,
time you
yeah.
ever got told. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if there's a backstory yet for. Does he have shoes on or does he have feet on? Does he have bare feet?
He's bare feet.
Does he have bare feet? So I was a little like, okay, well, they're not getting Han back.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a bummer.
Where are you
And
going?
Stormtroopers are truly missing there.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
not trying to miss.
Much better fight.
Much better
So far.
fight. And Vader, do you notice Vader? I mean, Vader's a little one-handed.
Yeah.
He's got
Lightsaber.
one now.
I used to think he could fly because of that one little thing. He just glides down.
Yeah. Technically, he can.
He's like,
Well,
"Why
he can-
don't
or jump
they
really
He
fly?"
can force jump.
Yes,
Yeah.
he
just
could
like
force jump.
just like Luke does here in
Why
a
can't-
second.
Jedi just pick themselves up and carry themselves over.
I love the.
essentially what
I
he's
love
doing.
the. I love the point.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't just go like.
All
All
too
too
easy.
easy.
He's like. Psst. Yeah.
Shoot him, McGavin.
That's like Maul, right? When he
Yeah.
points at
You-
that thing. Get over there. Yeah.
Impressive.
What? Flip.
How
Now,
about
wait a
that on
minute.
Dagobah?
Wait a minute. Did that really hurt him? Like,
Well, he's
you know, it's like,
got that
"Roar."
respirator, so
Yeah.
he's like, better.
Ah.
He got much better at getting the
adds to
lightsaber.
the
He's definitely
environment.
progressed
He's
with
definitely
with
got that faster. Yeah, yeah. So he's really believing that.
But is he really? Is it hot in there, or
Yeah.
just using the force really make him
I
sweaty?
think he's getting worn out for sure. But he's getting a little aggressive though. He's getting a little
Whoa.
anger. He's getting a little fear in him. You know, he's tapping into that dark side a little bit. You know.
He don't know no better. Even
He
though
doesn't know no
though
better.
they told him,
Don't turn off your lights.
don't do that.
Yeah. So did he? So Yoda mentioned the dark side to him right when he was leaving, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know if
No, he mentioned when he was on his back. He's like, "How do I
Yeah.
know the dark side?"
Obi-Wan said, "Don't
You'll
give
know.
in to hate." I think or something like that.
Yeah.
That leads to the dark side.
Yeah.
But prior to
Luke,
that,
watch my
did he
hands.
mention? Did he? He
Pump
didn't
your
really.
brakes, kid.
Oh yeah, he does mention the dark side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
I mean-
leads to the dark side.
Yeah,
Don't give in to hate.
that's right.
well, wait.
That leads to the dark side.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to throw things at you.
I mean, just crazy power. There's a scene. There's that hallway in Force Awakens that Rey sees back there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty iconic shot there too. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
okay, I'm done. I'm done. You got me.
That's not really fair.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm terrible at baseball.
Depth perception is so off. Stop it.
Why is there so much stuff around?
So when people were watching this in the 80s, I think, if I remember correctly, they did have episode 5 on the original crawl. So it was almost as if you knew, when you had to have known or thought that there was going to be another movie after this. So,
Several before.
do what?
Several movies before.
Right.
Yeah, now I do remember watching this one time and being like, why does it say episode 5? You know? And even back then, I think it was known that, George Lucas wants to make or wanted to make
Yeah.
3 others. And
Yeah. Well, I remember thinking for the longest time, like, every time I did pop it in 4, 5, I'm like, why? We're never going to get 1, 2, and 3. What? I mean, by now, we would have gotten it by now, I thought.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think about waiting for, computer graphics
Yeah.
or whatever. But
now we just missed it, but when Lando was doing the announcement, we saw that big wide shot. That was a special edition ad that I don't really care for.
All
Just
the people?
a really wide shot with a bunch of people, obviously on green, and just that didn't add anything for me.
see, to me, the only thing it added to me was because prior to that, you never see anybody. Like, you never see anybody.
Well, they had the people walking down the hall. They could have just done that, and not gone to the big wide shot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, eh.
Because this being a city, I just, you would think you would just see a lot more people than you ever did. Like, even like even like them flying in, there's no other ships flying around really. You know what I mean? Like there's hardly any activity going on. But maybe maybe it's a gas mining.
Like this is
kind
the
of
facility that they're in, I guess.
Yeah,
The actual facility of it,
but it's a
all those
city. I
buildings
mean, it's an
there.
actual working city. I mean, most of them are working for the gas company thing, or
well, he's basically leader on pretty much of the Cloud City.
that whole thing. Yeah,
The Baron or whatever they
Yeah,
call him.
exactly. Yeah. Which how he got that? I mean, he's
Yeah.
conned his way into it, is what he says, right? I mean, we'll probably find out. Don't be surprised if they don't make if everybody likes
Oh,
Donald
Lando's
Glover,
solo.
that they make like a Lando movie with him.
Calrissian. Solo.
Calrissian, yeah. Cal.
Way to
Let's
shoot
call
on
him
the beat.
Cal.
Cal.
But how far off the main characters can you go and not have to, shoehorn other little references in to appease the audience? Like how can you really just do a Lando Calrissian movie completely separate from these stories and people really be satisfied? I don't know. When it's a secondary character like that.
Right.
It's like, it's like, I'm just afraid they'll do things like, it was actually Anakin who built C-3PO.
Yeah.
It's like, we didn't need to make that connection.
Right.
Things like that. That's what makes me nervous about the spin-off movies.
Yeah. Love this. There's no music.
No
Just a
music.
fight.
You're beaten.
Don't let yourselves be destroyed as Obi-Wan did.
But do you think, so you're asking which, like, there's only a certain amount of characters you could do that with, or you just shouldn't maybe do that? And
Yeah,
just
you
stick
just
with like
shouldn't
original
maybe
stories
do
like
that.
Rogue One.
Right, exactly.
Where it's new characters.
Right.
Yeah, I'm kind of with that. I'm kind of with that. Although, I feel like with people that you are like ones that are masked, like Boba Fett, I
Right.
think you could do that.
Yes.
I think anybody that has a likeness, it's kind of
Yeah.
tough for
Yeah.
fans because even in the books, even in the comic books,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Lando's drawn like
All the
Billy D.
illustra-
Williams.
any
It looks like Billy D.
illustration.
Williams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like
yeah.
he has that likeness, and it's hard to now you're gonna have two different likenesses.
Yeah.
And I guess we keep kind of criticizing it, but then there's characters like Mon Mothma that's been recasted. General Dodonna, he's been recasted. But I would have felt that way, to be honest. I kind of would have felt that way if they would have, in Rogue One, if someone else had played Bail Organa.
Absolutely.
Like, I would have been weirded out by that a little bit.
100%.
Yeah. So,
Notice how his helmet blows in the
oh,
shot.
man. I noticed that as I was cutting the trailer for this.
Yeah.
For the, like, I had to remove it because I was like, why, that looks so bad, actually. But it is moving all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really windy in there.
Whoa, whoa. Sorry.
Like, that would have been really. Whoa.
This is embarrassing.
I swear it's real hair.
I need that. I need that.
But by far one of the biggest revelations we've ever had
Yeah.
in cinema.
Now, what do you think is in Luke's mind right here?
I was going to ask the same thing.
Yeah.
He is, in my opinion, he is sacrificing himself.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather kill myself than
Yeah.
go to the dark
I
side.
don't think he believed he was going to survive. Now, I remember in the special edition, do you remember they put a scream in as he was falling? And then they removed it for the Blu-rays, though.
Yeah.
They removed it back out.
Did he fall straight down into something, or did he? Almost
No, he
looks
got
like he
sucked
falls
into the side. Yeah, he got sucked into the side where the garbage gets. But I mean, he should be falling to the gas down there.
Now, what purpose does that slide? Like, what normally...
And
and what's that falling? Is that his hand?
I don't think it is, but
His lightsaber?
yeah, I don't think it is.
What was that little thing?
I think his lightsaber ended up into the trash somehow.
Yeah.
But I think we'll find out. At some point, we will find out what happened to the lightsaber.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And how it gets to Maz.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that was just like a piece of trash or something like that.
I think it was his hand.
You think it was his hand?
Yeah,
I don't know. Could have been, maybe. But there was nothing there with him, like
Right.
when he was sitting there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but yeah, what's the normal purpose of that?
That antenna thing right there?
No, of that trapdoor, that system of tunnels.
should they all-
whatever
Oh, I
you
think
would
that
call it.
sucks the trash in.
Oh,
and
they
then-
pollute.
Well, the
Well,
whatever. Yeah, what it might be. I don't know. I guess
Maybe it is exhaust.
it's a trash chute. I think.
The refuse from how they mine the gas. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
She's really spaced out.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting revelation we get there because not only does he say, obviously, come with me and we'll rule the galaxy as father and son. I mean, that's really the first time, even though at this point, if you think about this in the 80s, I mean, at this point, no one knows about Sith. Because Sith
Yeah.
are never mentioned
Right.
in the original trilogy, not once. Mm-hmm. You know, it was in the packaging, I think, of Darth Vader that he was Dark Lord of the Sith, right?
yeah.
It's the only time you ever really know. But what was Sith? And in fact, I saw a tweet with Pablo. People were asking about Emperor Palpatine and Sidious and all like that. It wasn't until, like, in some publication, I think it was an encyclopedia thing, that it actually named Palpatine as a Sith. Because in the beginning, he wasn't, and he didn't have Force powers. Like,
Yeah.
but they said later on that they had to make him a Sith because it wouldn't make sense that he was Vader's master,
You were right.
right?
Yeah.
So they had to make him a Sith. So at this point, when he's talking to Luke, I mean, you don't. We just don't understand like we do now that, you know, how there's two and they're always fighting and they're, you know, like, come with me, and basically he's saying, come with me, we'll kill the Emperor and we'll take over. I'll be the master, you be my apprentice. I mean, we just don't have that context going into, you know, as we're seeing this back in the 80s, but now it makes complete sense what's happening in that scene. And it's really cool that kind of made it through, even though that may not have been the whole point back then, you know, the whole rule of two and all that stuff like
Yeah.
that. So, But at that point, I mean, it's hard to. Yeah, my whole feeling, is that your feeling? My whole feeling was that he was sacrificing himself in order to not fall
Yeah.
to the dark side. You know.
Yeah.
Now this shot here, I don't know if you noticed, this is actually from Return of the Jedi. When he lands on the Death Star, this is actually the Death Star. See that guy there?
Yeah.
That's from the scene in Return of the Jedi.
Huh.
Because that whole scene, that whole shuttle scene of him returning, that was added later. You never saw that in the original. He just showed up on the Executor.
All right, Chewie. Ready for light speed.
If your people fix the hyperdrive, all the coordinates are set. Now or never.
Punch it. Isn't that what Han said? Did Han say punch it?
Punch it, Chewie.
Punch it, Chewie.
He's going to be dressing like Han Solo here soon?
Yeah, like, when we get out of this, I need to know where Han's closet is.
Ooh, hey,
Yeah.
look what happened here.
But I was like, they're going to get captured. Like, the tractor beam, you know? I'm like,
Yeah.
man, how's this going to end? How is this going to end? They're going to get captured and it's going to end.
What? He told you to do it.
You're just a delegator.
But how satisfied, as we get closer here, how satisfied were you with this ending? I mean, what was your feeling of it?
You know, I never really thought about it until I started watching it more. It's like, you know, there was no Death Star to blow up. This one just ends.
Yeah.
But I was fine with it. I've always been fine with it. It's like, yeah, it's not the most exciting ending, but it's more unique than 4 or 6.
Well, 4 and 6 end in Celebration.
Yeah.
This one really ends like like expecting there's another movie.
Yeah.
You know?
The Empire has really struck back in this movie.
Ooh. Oh,
True to the title.
I've
True
not
to
heard
the
in a long
title.
time.
Yeah, I mean it does. It does.
It is your destiny.
I think most people. It's a little surprising to me in a way because I think most people want expect the movie to kind of wrap up its plot points in
Yeah.
a sense, but this is like the exception. Like people love the fact that this ends so dark.
Yeah.
Like, this is a dark movie, and it's regarded as probably one of the best, if not the best, Star Wars movie that has been made. And all you had to do is like turn some
Yeah.
bad wires or something like that. And
Turn
it's
that.
all
You're
good.
good.
I hope you were in a
But
No.
in a lane there.
Yeah.
But isn't in one of the books? I think Lost Stars. Those are the ones that disabled the hyperdrive. I think she's
Oh.
she's the one responsible for
I think so.
dis- like so like when that happens, she's like, how did they figure that out?
Yeah.
Like how did they fix that?
Wait, who?
One of the characters from Lost Stars.
One of
novel.
the novels. One of the characters in there it was the one responsible for making sure that the hyperdrive got disabled. So they did disable it, obviously when Vader.
She got force choked.
She did. No, she survives.
Yeah.
It's okay. Vader Vader's like he did there. He's like, you know what? There'll be another time. There'll be another time.
I can't keep force choking people. We're running
I'm
out.
running
Tired.
officers.
Yeah.
But what's really cool is that I think in the Imperial Navy side is that what we're also getting in a lot of these books is we're seeing that there were a lot of females, even though in the movies we don't see a single Imperial female,
Yeah.
but there were, and it wasn't all just
She's kind of back in her episode 1.
Yeah.
garb.
yep,
I realized that.
yep.
And he's
Oh, Carrie Fisher.
Robe.
stop it.
Yeah. It works.
So somehow he loses. Well, I guess it's in that fire. Maybe on Last Jedi we'll see.
The skin.
Yeah, loses all the skin from his hand. Yeah. Now this is curious
Yeah,
too.
that's a great shot.
Get your hand.
But is that like another? Is that another galaxy? Or is that their galaxy? They're just way outside of it.
Sun.
Yeah, I don't
And
know.
that looks like a galaxy
It's a new sun. Looks like a sun that's
because they would be
born.
way. I mean, there's no way. I mean, I don't know. How, it's a little galaxy inside. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that is. I guess that's like some cluster. I guess maybe or something.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
don't
he
know.
got shined up. He ends every movie shiny.
Silver leg though. Look.
Yeah, silver leg.
See, that's not like that. That's
And
never-
his foot's gold. It's just his leg.
I don't get it. Do not get it.
Where's the ghost in there? I wonder. Is that it right there in the corner?
Oh man,
the
if they
ghost.
added the ghost,
Yeah.
I mean it's around,
That'd be
right?
in the corner, bottom right. Oh,
Could have been.
Yeah. That's it. Confirmed.
This is actually one of the shorter movies, isn't it? 2
Yeah.
hours, only 2 hours long, roughly. I guess. Did we
Lead
get
brackets.
is Last Jedi the long? No, yeah, it is the longest. Last Jedi is the longest.
Oh, Last
now.
Jedi is now
It will
the
be the
longest,
longest.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Good.
that is episode 5. The Empire Strikes Back. So one of the things we do while the credits are going, Chad, and I didn't prepare you for this, so you're going to have to do this off the cuff.
Great.
But we ask our guests as we do, as me and Casey reveal ours, your ranking of the Star Wars films.
Oh, jeez.
So you've got 8 movies to rank. Let's hear them from the bottom to top.
I don't know.
You had to have thought about it before.
Not really. Empire.
No, go start from the bottom.
The bottom?
Bottom to top.
Man.
Because you probably can
like
put
doing the
bottom
alphabet
to bottom,
backwards.
you know?
Okay, bottom. I flip-flop between these a lot, but I'm going to say episode 2, episode 1, episode 3.
Chad's a prequel hater.
Episode 7, Rogue One.
Wow.
Wow.
Strictly original guy.
Strictly original guy. Wow. Would you say episode 7 then Rogue One or Rogue One?
Yeah.
Episode 7 then Rogue. So you like Rogue One better?
Episode 4, Episode 6, Episode 5.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. Do you remember yours, Case? Where do you have? I mean, we've been reviewing ours throughout. Where do you got?
This
one?
This one is number 1 for me.
Yeah, this is number 1 for me as well.
Although there's a close second, but this is still number 1.
What's your close second?
We'll have to reveal that.
Okay.
Have you not
Later
revealed your
commentary.
second?
No, not number 2
Oh.
yet.
My number 2 is actually Rogue One. I love Rogue One. I think Rogue One is every time I watch it, it just gets better and better and better, and it's so well done. So, yeah, I'm torn with. Well, let's see. I haven't revealed 6 or 7, so that's kind of in the middle of my list.
Yeah.
Right now, 6 and 7 are kind of in the middle.
What's this one? This is number 1.
This is number 1 for me.
Okay.
This is by far, I think, the best Star Wars film. My favorite, still.
Joe Johnson.
But again, right behind it is Rogue One. It was actually tough. I was actually, but I had to. I think Rogue One is really good, but yeah, I probably. We'll have to get to it. But episode 7 might actually be moving around because it's funny because I'm watching. Like I said, I've told you guys off camera that my youngest is really, really into the movies, not really the cartoons, and she's only 3 and a half, and she for about a month or 2 straight, she just wanted to watch Return of the Jedi. Loved the Jabba part of Return of the Jedi, just Jabba, Boba Fett.
Wow.
Freeing Han, Leia, taking the mask off, like, oh my God, that's Princess Leia. But but all of a sudden, because she's really a big Chewbacca fan, huge Chewbacca fan, I just happened to say, hey, Chewbacca's in this movie too, and it was Force Awakens, and we started watching it, and now all she wants to do is watch Force Awakens. So we've been watching Force Awakens a lot, and as I'm watching that more and more, I'm like, wow, that's some good. That's pretty good. Oh yeah. I mean, I still get kind of. We'll talk about it in our commentary, but it's like I get I do feel people's pain about it being so similar to the original,
Right.
Because it really is very similar to the original. Yes. But there's still some good moments with Rey and good moments with Han, and it's. Overall, it's a good film, but we'll see where it kind of lands in our rankings. But we are again a mere less than 40 days from The Last Jedi. We are doing our journey to The Last Jedi by doing these commentaries and these fan trailers. So if it's already out, hopefully it is by now, go check out our next commentary, which is for Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Our guest on that is our buddy D. House from the Jedi Trials podcast. He will be in here with us for that. If you go watch that. Also, if it's out, let me pause this real fast. Also, if it's out, is our Episode 7 commentary, which will be out shortly before Episode 8 with our buddy Cody Geiler. We'll be on the couch for that. Really good that we got you guys doing these films because he's a big fan of Episode 7 too. So, and we have not done a commentary yet for Episode 7.
First.
So it'll be the first one.
Excited.
Very excited. So, Chad?
Yeah,
Thanks. Hope you enjoyed it.
I did.
Yeah. Got some.
Better every time.
I saw you. I saw you get lost a little bit in the movie.
No,
though.
for
That's
sure.
hard.
It's hard for this one.
It is hard for this
Yeah.
one. It is very hard.
So pretty.
Yeah.
I had a lot of topics I wanted to go over. We got through most of them, but it's such a good movie. You get drawn into it. But I hope you guys learned some different perspective of the film through our knowledge of the other stuff that's lending itself to books and the comics and stuff like that. There's plenty of stuff out there for that. Go to InsideTheForce.com to listen to our podcast, as well as get links to all of our social media where we're talking about the films. We got a lot more content coming on our YouTube channel. Go to that and subscribe. If you're already here, just hit it. Commentary and trailers for this stuff are out there right now. So can't wait till the Last Jedi. It's coming. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope, again, weekly podcast. Check it out, InsideTheForce.com. He's Chad Perkins, Chad Perkins 21 on Twitter. He's also got his own YouTube channel. It's Bourbon Night. If you like drinking and bourbon, go watch that kind of stuff. All kinds of. He doesn't get drunk all the time, but he's
Usually not.
He talks
It's
about
just a big
getting
slurry.
drunk all the time.
Yeah.
Casey Cooley, thanks, buddy.
Yeah, thank you.
What else? I don't. Is that all I gotta say?
That's watched the trailers that you're putting out there
Yeah.
on YouTube, on our website.
Chad, have you
Share
seen
it,
those
like
trailers?
it, share it,
No,
comment.
I need to check them out.
You know, I like text them all the time to you, and I never
You
hear
do?
back from you. Yes.
I don't get those.
You don't get those?
I don't think so. I'll have to go back and
Cliffhanger.
check.
I usually text like you and then
Jeb.
Russ and Jeb, and I was like, hey, check this out. Let me know what you think. Yeah, I
No.
never hear back from you.
No, I don't.
So-
I don't think I've been getting
Wow.
those texts.
Okay, maybe.
Another the chat.
We'll have to check that out.
Has been getting it.
But I will show Chad some trailers, and you go check this out on our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, everybody. For Casey,
Goodbye, everybody.
for Chad,
Hey.
I'm Dave. May the force be with you.